Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. My name's Sasha, and I'm the Marketing Manager here at Ndevr, and I'll also be your host for this session. Now, before we begin, I just want to let you know that the session is being recorded, and we'll share a copy of today's slides plus a link to the recording with you afterwards. It probably won't take anywhere near an hour to get through this morning, and the one following this session also won't take an hour. And just wanted to make sure that I let you know about that. If you have any questions as we go, could you please pop them into the chat window and we'll get to them all at the end. Next slide, please, Anne. For those of you here who aren't familiar with this, Ndevr have been supporting JD Edwards customers across Australia and New Zealand for over 25 years, and we pride ourselves on having the most experienced JDE team in the region. Our people work with businesses to help them extract maximum value from their JDE investments, and whether that means staying current or retiring customizations, adopting automation, improving system performance, or just lightening the load on your internal team. So some of the ways that we help customers include functional and technical support, managed services, tailored training services, as well as enhancement and improvement services to ensure you're effectively using the latest JDE updates, such as what you'll be seeing here today. Now, I am very pleased to introduce our presenter today, Anne Thiele. Anne is a seasoned JD Edwards solution consultant with substantial experience across real estate, manufacturing, asset-intensive industries and financials. She's worked very closely with our customers to implement enhancements, automate workflows, and see that customers get real value out of the new features that are continually being released by Oracle. Now, today she's presenting features from the January, April, and June 2025 releases, and she'll be explaining what they actually mean for end users and business stakeholders. And so with that, I'm going to hand things over to you, Anne.
All right, thanks, Sasha. Just get this frog out my throat. Okay, thanks, Sasha. So the enhancements that Oracle have delivered over this past year in release 25, they cover areas like fixed assets, procurement, manufacturing, capital asset management, real estate management, and there's also some enterprise automation. Well, a lot of it is enterprise automation enhancement. So the first one is around fixed assets. It's not a very big enhancement. It's quite a simple one, but it just makes life a little easier. Basically, when the fixed asset post program is triggered from the general ledger post, it only triggers for the one batch and only reports errors for the one batch that's being posted. So it just makes it easier to identify and focus on these. If you remember this report, it can report pages and pages of things that are irrelevant. Now it's scaled down, so it just makes it easier to focus on the specific issue at hand. In procurement, there have been two new enhancements released. The first one is on the progressive web application. Basically, Oracle have included an environment login so that if you do have two production environments, for example, the user can decide which environment they need to log into for purchase order approvals. And the other enhancement in procurement is in the enterprise automation area. It's a procure-to-pay process model with connected processes. Let me take you in to JD Edwards to have a little look at it. You know, Oracle have been delivering these enterprise processes for a little while now, but Oracle have already delivered in previous releases the Procure-to-Pay template and the order-to-cash template. Well, now they've delivered this requisition template. And what the requisition template does is it not only will map the requisition process here, but it maps the order process as well. So you end up with two different processes into the interlinked processes. And you can define, of course, where the the order process, the requisition process ends, and where the order process starts. It all depends on your order activity rules and so on, but you can change them here in the process. As with the other processes, you've got control of what is happening here. You can also change the colors if you don't like the colors that are being presented here. Okay, and the same way as you would now tweak the process map for order to cash or for procure to pay, you can do the same with the requisitions. But you'll see here on the left, you can actually toggle between the requisition flow and the order flow. So you can map both of them and tweak them to suit what you need. And the end result looks like this. Under your enterprise processes here, you will see the different processes that you've got mapped. The one that's coming up here is the requisition process, and it's got all the relevant steps. It's got all the graphs and everything on the right, all the analysis that that we come to expect with these processes. It's also got the generate purchase order from requisitions in a different color. And if we look in the bottom left here, we can now toggle between the two different processes. And of course, when we toggle the process, it not only toggles the flow over here, it toggles enhancements as well. That is the new procure-to-pay process model, which includes the requisitions as well. So that's on the procurement side, what has been delivered. On manufacturing, there's only one enhancement being delivered, but it's a really nice one. It's again in the enterprise automation area, and it is the production order to cost update E1 page. It looks like this, and let's go and take a closer look at this E1 page. So here on the left, we've got the process, and it's all nicely mapped out. And here on the right, we have the graphs and various information, the top 10 engineering variances, the top 10 actual variances, some information on work order completion. What I really like here is a few things. They've associated watch lists with the tiles where appropriate. So on the managed production orders, we have a watch list showing the MPS exceptions. On the report transactions, we have a watch list of past due operations, for example, and so on and so forth. But also, we've got a link to the planning console. Now, the planning console is not new. It was delivered a release or two ago, but I thought I might just show it to you because I like it and because I think it's really worth taking a second look at. So if I'd look for item number 220, for example, in branch plant M30, I have got beginning inventory on hand. I don't have anything there at the moment, but then I've got all my supply and demand details here. I can create a planned order from here. There's implement. I can implement the plan if I want to. And I've got the supply and demand charts down here, which I can tweak and look at differently as I see fit. And I've also got any informational messages related to this item as well. I like this screen. I think it's very handy, the planning console. I don't know how much you guys are using it, but the manufacturing guys might want to take a closer look at this planning console. As I say, not delivered in this release, but I just thought I'd show it anyway. Okay, so as with all E1 pages and things delivered by Oracle, this is completely customizable. So you can take their page that they've kindly configured and put together and got everything on it, and you can tweak it to suit your environment and your processes. You might change some of the remove some of the processes here, add a few in. You might want to use different watch lists up here. You might want different graph information. You might want additional information on here. It's up to you. You can tweak it and change it to your heart's content. Okay, so that's the manufacturing side. Let's go and take a look at what has been delivered in capital asset management. 2 enhancements. The first one is a maintenance and service work order ledger. In an earlier release, the work order master ledger was introduced for manufacturing orders. Now it's also available for maintenance and service orders. So what this enhancement does is, I'll take you again into JDE and show you. What it does is when you go into preventative maintenance, for example, I'll just go and pick up one of these assigned work orders here, and just copy its number so we can see. And let's say you change the status. Let's change the status to, I don't know, let's say waiting for parts. We'll change to a status that is acceptable. So maybe outside operation, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we've got an outside operation. And when you change the status here, it now writes out to the work order master ledger the different status changes, when they changed, etc., and all the information around that status, the change. So that's laying the foundation for a maintenance work order process template, for example. The second enhancement in capital asset management that has been delivered is the automated planned finish calculation for maintenance and service work orders. So basically what it does is it takes the planned start date, compares the estimated hours and the downtime hours, and it selects the greater of those values. It converts that into days, and then it goes and adds it to the planned start date, and thereby comes up with a planned finish date for you. That's the automated planned finish date for maintenance and service work orders. On the real estate management side, one enhancement, and that's the ability to save all of your straight line rent batches for leases. So that really means you've got a complete batch history, and you can track your rent calculations and lease changes over time with that. Now, hot off the press, these two enhancements, the enterprise automation enhancements, were released in the June release just the other day. Okay, and firstly is the process definition application. This is a brand new application. This is a brand new application where you can define a workflow. So it's in the process definition. So you can define a workflow from and through values and so on based on a user-defined code of some sort. Now, it doesn't enforce this workflow like, for example, work order status or purchase order status workflows. It doesn't enforce the workflow, but what it does is it does allow for the enterprise process modeler to be able to model the process. So it's going to extend the enterprise process modeler beyond those defined processes, predefined templates, to where you can define your template and processes. The second enhancement that's hot off the press is the order to cash with warehouse template. Similar to the requisition link to purchase orders, this allows for sales orders to link to the warehouse process. I haven't had a chance to play with this one yet, but I will soon, and hopefully I can report back to you on how nice it looks. Okay, so that is all the enhancements, the application enhancements that have been released January, April, and June this year. Back to you, Sasha.
Thanks, Anne, and thank you to our audience for joining us this morning. I hope this session's given you a clear view of what's new in JDE and how these updates can deliver some value. And if you're interested in how JD Edwards is supporting broader digital transformation from automation to orchestration, we'll dive into that in more detail in our next session, which starts at 11 o'clock. Thanks again for being here, and we hope to see you again shortly.